June 12, 2025 began as a seemingly typical day, filled with the usual hustle and bustle of airport activity. Little did anyone know, this day would be etched in history for the worst possible reasons. The scene was set at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad, a major aviation hub in India. The airport was alive with the anticipation of journeys about to begin. Among the travelers were passengers eagerly awaiting Air India Flight 171, their gateway to London, a bustling metropolis across continents. They boarded a Boeing 787, Dreamliner, unaware of the harrowing ordeal that awaited them. The boarding process was smooth, passengers settling into their seats, excited for the journey ahead. This particular aircraft, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, was celebrated for its cutting-edge technology, fuel efficiency and above all, its strong safety record and innovative design. The flight was full, every seat occupied, a testament to the popularity of the route and the airline. A total of 230 passengers, representing a diverse mix of nationalities and backgrounds, were on board. Complementing the passengers was a dedicated crew of 12, highly trained professionals, committed to ensuring a safe and comfortable long-haul journey. In the cockpit, the pilots went through their final pre-flight checks with meticulous attention to detail, while ground crew performed their last inspections. With everything in order, the Dreamliner began its taxi to the active runway, ready for departure. The time was precisely 13:39 Indian Standard Time, IST. Air traffic control gave Flight 171 the green light, clearing it for takeoff. The powerful engines roared to life, and the Dreamliner surged forward, gracefully lifting into the sky. But just a mere 30 seconds after leaving the ground, a chilling anomaly occurred. The aircraft's climb became unsteady, faltering unexpectedly. Instead of continuing its ascent, gaining altitude as expected, something went terribly wrong. The plane began to lose altitude rapidly, defying all expectations. In a few terrifying moments, the situation escalated into a full-blown emergency. The Dreamliner, now completely out of control, plunged back towards the Earth with terrifying speed. It crashed with devastating force, the impact creating a scene of unimaginable destruction. What began as a routine departure had ended in unspeakable tragedy, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. The catastrophic event sent shockwaves not only through India but also reverberated across the global aviation community, leaving the world in mourning and demanding answers. The shift from routine to disaster was almost instantaneous. One moment, the pilots were calmly monitoring their instruments, adhering to standard procedures. The next, a cascade of failures began to unfold, transforming a typical flight into a desperate struggle for survival. As the plane struggled against unseen forces, cockpit alarms blared, each a shrill cry of impending doom. Red lights flashed erratically across the control panel, painting a stark picture of the escalating crisis. The pilots fought valiantly, their training kicking in as they attempted to diagnose the problem and regain control. It was a catastrophic, a dual-engine failure at low altitude, a scenario that every pilot dreads, now a terrifying reality. The engines, once roaring powerhouses, sputtered and died, leaving the aircraft vulnerable and at the mercy of gravity. The pilots, their voices strained with urgency, issued a frantic mayday, desperately hoping that someone was listening, that help was on its way. They reported a total loss of power, a chilling admission that signaled the gravity of the situation. The instruments flickered and died, leaving the cockpit shrouded in an eerie darkness, amplifying the sense of helplessness. With no thrust to keep it aloft, the Dreamliner, once a symbol of engineering marvel, became a massive glider, its fate now dictated by the laws of physics. The crew, their hearts pounding in their chests, desperately searched for a safe landing spot, a miracle amidst the dense city sprawling beneath them. Every second counted as they scanned the urban landscape, hoping for an open space, a park, anything that could offer a chance of survival. Security footage captured from various points across the city showed the jet descending, a silent and ominous shadow against the bright sky. Wings level, a testament to the pilot's skill and composure, but utterly powerless against the inevitable pull of gravity. Seconds later, the unthinkable happened. The aircraft, now completely out of control, crashed into the hostel block of BJ Medical College, a devastating collision that would forever alter the lives of those involved. The impact ignited a massive fireball, a terrifying explosion that ripped through the building, sending shockwaves across the city. The aircraft disintegrated upon impact, its once sleek and powerful form reduced to a mangled mess of metal and debris, tearing through the building with unstoppable force, unleashing chaos and destruction in its wake. In an instant, a symbol of modern aviation, a marvel of engineering and human ingenuity, was reduced to nothing more than wreckage and loss, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. The journey, which had begun with such promise and anticipation, ended just moments after it began, leaving behind a trail of devastation and unanswered questions. Amid the devastation, one story of survival emerged. Of 242 on board, only Vishwashkumar Ramesh, seated in 11A, survived. From his hospital bed, he recalled the sudden silence, the feeling of falling, and the chaos as the plane crashed. Disoriented but alive, he unbuckled his seatbelt and escaped the wreckage. Ramesh's account became a vital clue for investigators, a rare human perspective from inside the disaster. The tragedy extended beyond the aircraft, its fiery tendrils reaching far beyond the immediate crash site. The impact resonated throughout the city, leaving a trail of devastation and despair in its wake. Striking the heart of Ahmedabad, a bustling metropolis now reeling from the unexpected catastrophe, the vibrant energy of the city was abruptly replaced by a somber atmosphere of shock and grief. The crash into BJ Medical College's hostel, a place of learning and sanctuary, transformed it into a scene of unimaginable horror. The once familiar building became a symbol of loss and devastation, claimed 19 lives on the ground, innocent victims caught in the path of destruction. The scale of the loss was immense, leaving families and communities shattered, students, faculty, and staff, all with promising futures, tragically cut short. The academic community mourned the loss of bright minds and dedicated educators. Emergency services battled flames, a desperate fight against the inferno that threatened to consume everything in its path. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid smell of burning debris, and searched for survivors amid the ruins, a painstaking and heart-wrenching task. Every moment was critical in the race against time. At least 60 people were injured, many critically, their lives forever altered by the events of that day. The injured were rushed to hospitals, their faces etched with pain and fear, and the hostel block was left in ruins, a stark reminder of the destructive power unleashed. The once sturdy structure was reduced to a pile of rubble and twisted metal, fused with twisted aircraft metal, a grim testament to the force of the impact. The wreckage served as a haunting symbol of the tragedy. The city mourned, its collective heart heavy with sorrow and disbelief. The streets were filled with a palpable sense of grief, holding vigils for victims both in the air and on the ground, a shared expression of grief and remembrance. The flickering candlelight illuminated the faces of mourners, their eyes filled with tears. The loss of young medical students and faculty, individuals dedicated to healing and saving lives, was a bitter blow, a wound that would take a long time to heal. The pain of their absence was deeply felt by all who knew them. The crash left an indelible scar on Ahmedabad, a permanent reminder of the lives lost and the fragility of life, forever linking the fate of those in the sky with those below, a tragic intersection of destinies. The event served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of human lives. It was one of India's worst aviation disasters in decades, a tragedy that shook the nation and prompted a thorough investigation into the causes of the crash. The search for answers began amidst the wreckage and sorrow. As the smoke cleared, the investigation began. India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, AAIB, led the effort, joined by experts from the US and UK. The black boxes, cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder, were quickly recovered. These devices held the key to understanding the crash's final moments. The AAIB confirmed the recorders would be analyzed in India, not sent abroad. Investigators mapped the wreckage and scrutinized every detail from the Mayday call to the survivors' testimony. The process would take months, but every clue was vital to prevent future tragedies. For families and the aviation industry, answers and closure depended on the investigation's findings. The crash shattered the Dreamliner's flawless safety record. Since its 2011 debut, the 787 had been a symbol of reliability and innovation. But in 30 seconds, that reputation was upended. Early findings showed the aircraft was properly configured for takeoff, and the ram air turbine had deployed, evidence of a catastrophic dual-engine failure. Investigators focused on the engines and electrical systems, searching for the root cause. Boeing responded swiftly, pledging full support to the investigation. The company's reputation, and the safety of the global Dreamliner fleet, hung in the balance. The world watched, waiting for answers. The question: how could two of the world's most reliable engines fail at once? In the absence of official answers, misinformation spread rapidly online. Fake, AI-generated accident reports circulated, offering false explanations and fueling public anxiety. One viral report claimed a known electrical flaw caused the crash, but experts quickly debunked it as fiction. This digital fog complicated the investigation and distressed victims' families. The incident underscored the need to rely on verified sources, not rumors. As of June 26, 2025, the investigation continues with the true cause still unknown. Only the official report will reveal the lessons needed to prevent another tragedy.